And I think that was it. Nothing would ever be the same for me. For a week, I tried to think everything over. In these times, I was very thankful for all the distractions I could get. My money management was going as I planned and I tried to strengthen my normal me. I promised myself that I would never again get involved in that atmosphere, that I would always look at things from above. I really had the experience to do so. I know I plunged into the schoolboy's life and it completely got me. Yet, sometimes it would captivate me, but that would only be an exception and controlled by me. Also, I imposed a total ban on girls upon myself. Just friends. Nothing more. In a way, I wanted to make a clean start, throw everything behind me and forget about it all. I thought that during the Christmas holidays I had some peace and quiet, just some time for myself. But these days were much more relaxing. I didn't think about any girls, at least never as intensive as I used to. Sometimes I saw a girl on the street. I would just notice her. That was all. It did not mean that I was acting coldly towards girls. I just knew where my limits are. Although I still greeted Miori and Kotone, I was quite sure there was nothing I felt for anyone. I dedicated my time to helping my friends. Many times I would help them with their homework. I was always there for them. Whenever they needed help, they could ask me. I would do it. Finally, I think I was the person I wanted to be. Maybe the person I was. I made full use of my knowledge and I was very calm. When talking to our girls, I know they must have felt the comfort I radiated. I thought it was very good this way. At last, I could be the mysterious person I wanted to be. Impress everyone without trying and have total authority. By this time I was not the most popular, because that was never my aim, but the most respected person in class. These kids, they really listened to me when I suggested something. Sometimes our class teacher would discuss something regarding our class. Normally the class president, which was Akari, would be the lead person. But not now. I recall discussions between me and the teacher, with the whole class listening. How we work out the best way to fix our schedules or how class money was to be spent. I really tried to take Akari into account, but sometimes the topics were of such importance that I had to voice my opinion. I wasn't afraid of our feared principal now, of course. One day Akari had to go and ask him on behalf of the whole class to re-allow the drying of our umbrellas in our classroom. It was spring, rain was falling almost every day and there was no way we could dry our umbrellas anywhere else. He thought the classroom looked awful with all the umbrellas on the floor. He probably expected us to hang the wet umbrellas together with our coats. Akari told our teacher, but our teacher had little success in persuading him. So our teacher told Akari to go and talk to the principal herself. Of course, no effect. The principal aggressively held this position, arguing that the floor was wet, dangerous and moody, and we would carry the whole mess around the school with our shoes. Just this time, just as the teacher suggested Akari could give it one last try with the principal, I volunteered to go with her. I remember Akari's face when she had to go alone. She really did not want to go. It was almost bound to be unsuccessful. I remember seeing her go alone. No one really wanted to go and try to straighten out the matter. As for me, I never liked these things, where you had to go and take care of some unpleasant business. Too bad for Akari, the teacher practically told her to go. But this time, it would be very different. Even if we should not succeed, I could not see myself watch Akari go alone. If I would be with her, she would be much more calm. I could even speak instead of her. I wanted her to feel relaxed. No pressure. If she would not know what to say, I wanted her to feel that I was there to help her out. And so we went down the halls, into the principal's office. Akari was so happy, I could tell. She thanked me for going with her, because she wouldn't know what to do if she were alone. I could very well understand that. Akari was quite the silent person, very responsible, but vulnerable to authorities. I just smiled and nodded everything was okay. We knocked on the door and the principal let us in. Akari maybe expected that I would start talking, but I did not. She was the class president, so she had to do it. Akari started in a very trembling voice and explained that we needed to dry our umbrellas there. The principal then made it quite clear that he was not going to back off from his orders. Normally, at this point the conversation would be over. Akari was maybe a little disappointed and expected more help from me. I slowly stepped a little closer to the principal because Akari's safe distance from him was 3 meters. I made a small pause and started to explain in a calm voice that we needed his permission. Naturally, he would respond the same way as to Akari, although he was already a little irritated. I then made it clear to him that we want a solution, that we want to solve this problem, and that we are open to new suggestions. I succeeded in involving him into a discussion. And then, it was so beautiful, it was Akari who came up with the solution. We would make a special area with old newspapers, we would dry the umbrellas, and we would borrow an old cloth from the janitor to clean up any excessive water. We would also throw the newspapers away after the second lesson, when all the umbrellas were dried already. Then I continued with a promise that our class will respect those rules and that we are ready to take responsibility and see to it that we stick to our agreement. We thanked the principal and went out. Akari was so excited, her face was almost feverishly red. She was so happy, I could tell. I suggested she tells the news to all the beginning of the next lesson when the teacher will be in, because during the break no one will listen. And we needed to obey the rules now. Nevertheless, it would go well. And as for Akari, she was almost in love with me for that. I was there, I helped her. She didn't know what to think, how to process my behavior when I volunteered to help her. Did that mean I liked her? She was clueless, probably now she was thinking of me much more. For me, it was normal. She was my friend and a very nice girl. I just couldn't let her go and face that difficult situation when I knew I could help her. I was never one of those people who had imaginary friends in their childhoods, and in that particular meaning I never had an imaginary friend. I never talked to an imaginary person, nor have I ever imagined anyone not real in my presence. Well, at least at that point, it's good for you, I guess. However, I have dreamed. I have dreamed of how it would be if I had a girlfriend. That's not better than having an imaginary friend. A girlfriend that would be perfect for me, that would understand me, and a girlfriend that I would be perfect for. In the course of time, I had quite a few of these girls. At a certain stage, I liked a certain type of girls, so my dream girl would look like my current favorite girl type. At music grounds, at this time, my idol was called Chieka. Chieka was of course the name I particularly liked at that time too. Also, the looks of Chieka were exactly of my dream type at that point. Yeah, of course, since Miori was the most beautiful being in existence for me. Naturally, Chieka would have to look just like her. But Miori was something special, because I liked her so much. It was absolutely unacceptable for me to make Chieka look like her. Maybe it was respect, maybe something else. Whatever it was absolutely natural and clear to me that Chieka could not be Miori. It would make me feel like a pervert or something. I cannot explain. Chieka was a quite different girl type, however, and I used to think about her pretty often. For one, I had the crisis with Miori. I was not doing anything to go to any kind of new stage, meaning I did not have any plans to phone her or anything. I did not do anything on Love's Day and my affection towards Miori was fading? I didn't know. The truth was, I still regarded her as being most beautiful of all the girls, but the whole stress with chasing Miori was too much for me. I enjoyed the calm flow of things and gradually I stopped wanting Miori so much, I guess. Could be my affection simply wore off? I guess that must have been the case. I was maybe too quickly to give up on her. I knew almost for certain she had never had a boyfriend. I could still do it. Yet, I was very far from doing anything. I guess at that time I was not regretting anything. Miori was not such an idol for me. I remember I began to think of her much later. By then, in a missed opportunity way, which of course made her more desirable for me. When I think of it, yes, this is really true. She became my idol very slowly, over time, and mainly because I never really got to know her. I even knew Kotone better than her. That's because we almost never talked. On the first dance, not at the ball. It was as logical as could be. I could imagine what she could be like, and in addition to that, the missed opportunity situation created those questions in me, and she really was one opportunity I never took, the first love, I guess, and the first really missed chance. That I had no chance of getting rid of, and with my pre-redux dreaming I made it more and more intensive. Mori, he did it. He has actually gone away, and even though he might think about what could have been had he acted differently, the regrets will never be able to get to him that close. But back by that time, my thoughts were in Chieka. I enjoyed the harmony between us, and all the stories and situations all I made up. No, man. Well, that's just like having an imaginary friend, I guess. I don't know. Isn't it? I think it is. Stop doing that and move your ass to Miori. Often, I would imagine that someone from our class would see us in the city. That would be great. They would envy me, that I have such a great girlfriend, who loves me. Somehow, however, whenever I tried to imagine Miori see us somewhere, I didn't know how to continue the situation. It was not natural. In a way, I don't know. The problem was that I always wanted to impress someone. I could dream about Miori forever. All the situations I would think of, but with Chica? Well, it was not that good, to be really honest. Because I already had Chica. There was no point of impressing her. Much more, all the situations were set up to impress someone else. For instance, one thing would be that Chica would come to our school one break and talk to me about something very important. I would embrace her and try to calm her down. Then I would leave the school in the middle of school day, because this thing was more important than anything in the school. And my friends and everyone would see it. I tried to imagine the puzzled looks on their faces, not knowing what hit them. Yeah, when I think about it, there was never one situation where I would see myself approach Chica, and if there were such, it just was not exciting enough. I tried to think that I met Chica on a school gallery visit. I would talk to her and we would slowly get together. The point is that I did not really want my friends to see anything from any genesis of a relationship. The time I imagined talking to a strange girl in the gallery, which would then become my girlfriend Chica, was only because I wanted to impress the others by showing that I actually am doing something. I wanted to impress them with the fact that I talked to this beautiful girl. Yet, many times I would dream about how it would be between Chica and me. A perfect relationship. We would know exactly what the other thinks. We would agree with each other. We would be funny and a great team. And think about it, it was maybe semi-subconsciously still the same. I wanted to show everybody else that I have the perfect girl and they would never be such a perfect couple. However, I have to note that this is clear to me only now, and although I felt the difference when I was imagining things with Miori or any other real girl and imagining things with Chieka, there was a difference. Still, I never really found out why. Because Chieka was not nearly half as exciting as thinking how I'd win a soccer match with my decisive goal in front of the entire school and Yoshiko would fall in love with me. I only thought of Chieka for short periods of time. A heroic action like impressing the girls. I could really analyze and assemble and direct in my mind for weeks. Sometimes I would really spend weeks perfecting a single situation, from a very roughly specified fantasy, of that for instance one girl from other class would take the whole class hostage, because she was depressed. I would make attempting a suicide. The girl would just try to kill herself, and I would happen to be around. And she would trust me. I would be the only one allowed to speak to her. And eventually I would talk her out of it. Gradually, the fantasy would become less and less spectacular. The girl would try to kill herself after school, when almost no one was there. And so on. Eventually, I would stop detailing it, because I would already exhaust all variations. Nevertheless, this procedure would sometimes take weeks of everyday thinking and sensitively adding the pieces of the picture together. Every word would have to be perfect for the given situation. I really found great pleasure in this. Then there was a second girl, Hiromi, I started to like, and gradually it all developed into the most true feeling I ever felt for anyone. Hiromi was an actress. Well, maybe not. She just had a small role in a series. That was not exactly popular, but at least I watched it. I can't remember the first time I saw her. It was late afternoon, Saturday. My parents were not home and I had at least until 7 until they would come back. I got tired of listening to music, so I started to browse through the TV channels to see what was on. I stopped at channel 26. What was that? There was a show, probably a series on that I didn't know. Not that I should, channel 26 was not exactly on top of anyone's list, but here and there was something watchable on. I don't know what's on my channel 26 right, actually. Should I check it now? No. I would need to change the cable from console to TV. Whatever, let's continue. But this series, I have never ever heard of it. It looked almost cheap, so I started to watch and I noticed that girl who was the daughter of one of the main characters. They called her Hiromi. She caught my eye instantly. She's nice. Not for a particular reason, because she didn't exactly play too much. She only said a few words in that episode and that was it. Nevertheless, maybe because I saw so little of her, my interest grew.